Hello YouTube! Today we're gonna talk about the rank 1 world record holder at the moment. Kasanza, he's called the face farter. Interesting name, but I like it. But anyway, I'll be covering basically how he plays mostly and what he does and some things that I don't know actually, but I've realized after watching this VOD. And if you actually play Talon and you want to pick it up, this video will be insane for you. However, I do recommend you to go to his YouTube channel and watch his Talon combo guide, because I don't think I should explain that if he has a video about it, but I'll explain the things that you might not be able to see yourself. So let's get straight into it. Alright, so this is the first example. So this is something I've noticed, which is that, take a look at this example here, okay? When he's fighting someone, he won't use his Q to gap close. Instead, he'll use his Yumus, and because the enemy team is slowed, he can gap close, and then he can alt attack, he first ults, and then alt attack, Q alt attack. So that way he can deal 3 fast hits in a row instead of like queuing and alt attack, and it's not a crit either, right? And you'll see it quite often that he does this combo. Me, in the past, I would have just W. If he runs away, I would just Q him here and wonder why don't I deal damage? Because my Q doesn't crit. And if you didn't know, Talon Q crits if you're melee, so it does actually a bit extra damage, which is why you want to get close first if possible. Let's take a look at next example. Right here you can see the exact same thing. He Ws, and even though he's super low, he would rather just walk onto him, alt attack, Q alt attack. And you can see that, like, even though he did that, this guy, like, Yon is balanced, right? But basically, if you want to optimize your DPS, make sure to get close as possible, that alt attack, Q alt attack. Now let's go to another topic, which is the W usage, which is very key. Alright, so one thing I've noticed after watching his games for a few hours is that the way he uses W is the following. Imagine you're like in Hecarim that usually wants to E people if they flash, right? It's similar with Talon because you want to connect your W2. If you position here, and this guy flashes, let's say, this direction, you won't hit your W. So what he's often doing is like walking behind him, as you can see. And even if, let's say, hindsight, because he failed his flash here, and Vayne's about to flash, even if Vayne would flash, let's say, here, he can Q after him, and the W will still follow. But that is something he would do consistently, because he wants to make sure he gets his Q3 off. And you can even see here, right? In this small skirmish here, he's holding his Q. If he doesn't have to use his Q, he's not using his Q. Because in the end, let's say he needs more damage for whatever reason, he can Q and then W and then he gets cooked. Because let's say now that, you know, he needs to Q and gap close, guess what? He has Q. So he saves his Q for the gap close if needed, so he could continuously hit him, and then boom, he's dead. Now let's take a look at another example. So take a look here. You can see here the same thing. Guess what he's gonna do? If you listen to my advice a bit, then you probably guess he's not just gonna W and Q him, right? He's gonna predict his flash, which is this way, but in my opinion, he should probably go this way, right? But let's take a look. You can see he's running all the way already to his flash position, and like I said, Orianna flash was very poor, but he would have died regardless. That is something he does very consistently, which is predict your flash and make sure his W lands. So this example here, it's a bit of a more niche thing. So this time the Urgot played it properly and he didn't flash like this way or something, right? Where he could walk this way. So take a look here. This is about timing. You can see here that Urgot right now is... Okay, it's a lot of shit, right? But basically, you can see that if Urgot is like going this way, if Talon manages to time his Q properly, when his W2 is gonna go back, you can still get to him. So as you can see here, the W here is still hitting him. The passive. So I'm gonna go a bit back and show you like one time fully, but just pay attention to his Q timing. It's very well timed with W2. So even though sometimes it can be a bit awkward, you can still hit the enemy team if you can time your second W, the comeback, with the Q and can still hit the enemy team. Because there's a certain trick to it, and I'll show you. Alright, take a look here, okay? I really want to play in slow motion so you can actually see what I'm seeing, okay? And one more thing as well. Don't W like on top of him. In the end, the Talon W is like, you ideally want to put it here, because it's still going to hit him like here. Let's say you put it there, it's always going to hit him, you know? And of course, the more this direction is, which is the direction he wants to walk to, the better it is. You see? He's trying to put it here and hit him on the edge, because that way, if he flashes here, it's much easier to land his W. So don't put your W literally on top of them, put it a bit more to the left, you see? And that way, look. You see, technically, his W2 should not be able to hit him, right? But the Talon W is that if you're able to time the W2 properly, even if you're standing here, it will still hit him. It's just a hitbox that, well, Rito Games has. Because look, let's say the blades go towards him here, it would still hit the Syndra, you see? Even though it went this way, and even though Syndra is here. So this small interaction makes the difference between a really good Talon or a bad Talon. And I'll show you like one last example on that, and then I'll show you some more bangers. Take a look at this example here, okay? So Talon just used W here, okay? You can see. And right now the W that's flying back, even though he's not, you know, behind him, he's like on top of him low-key, right? The W still lands. So going in the custom game and figuring out the hitbox so you get comfortable is very crucial if you want to master the Ws and the Qs to get the timing perfect. So now, let's look at some other stuff that's not W related. In this skirmish, I'll show you a bit more advanced stuff. It's not too advanced, but take a look here, okay? I'm gonna play it first so you can see what happens, and then I'll show you what's popping. Boom, Aurora died. He's going to Jarvan. And now he's basically killing him. So I'm gonna break this a bit down so you can actually understand what happened. I mean, whether he kills them or not doesn't matter, but let's go back. Alright, so as a Talon, this is very crucial, and a lot of people make this mistake if you don't have good champion mastery. So as you can see, he jumps on Aurora, and of course, as W flies back, he's flashing behind him, so he gets hit, and then he's gonna ultimate alt attack. From this HP already, he knows if his W connects, he ults alt attack with 2 items, he can nuke a target from 1.6 HP to 0 basically. So you can see he dealt an alt attack. The ult, he's definitely getting spiked. And he just leaves. He's not like doing like one extra hit. And because he didn't do that, he didn't get Jarvan comboed. So understanding your limits and how much damage you can deal, that is very essential. Because an extra ult that you try to apply, you might get Poppy stunned, you might get Jarvan ulted, okay? Now next thing. Take a look at his cooldowns. He has cooldown for 2 seconds, 3 seconds W, okay? So especially with Talon, his Q can gap close, his W can slow, and as long as they're within a certain range, you can actually trail them, right, and follow them. So pay attention to his spacing here. So I'm gonna show you like the speed. Okay, so look, you can see here he's doing an alt attack. After he does an alt attack here, you don't really want to trade alt attacks against a Jarvan, right? Ideally, you want to play with your spells. So instead of him alt attacking here, right, look at his clicks. He's like spacing them a bit, so he waits for his cooldowns, and then, of course, he's timing his Q with his W2. The moment when you want to use your Q is when these things are flying backwards. Then you can do an alt attack, Q alt attack, so you can perfectly time your passive. You see, he took the passive because it was very well timed. So such a small thing, right, it's not like small, it's pretty big if you play Talon right. Getting the timing right is very crucial. It's just something you have to practice, but as long as you understand the theory, that's all good. But now, let's go to the part where people struggle the most, which is how the hell does he get so many kills? You might be watching it like, Kirei, I know this. But this is where he really excels at, which is recognize how to get kills, and let's get straight into that. Alright, by the way, 70% of you guys did not subscribe to the channel, and I'd really appreciate it so much if you would do so. It really would mean a lot to me, and sorry for taking your time, and enjoy the rest of the video. Much love. So in this example here, is basically how you recognize kills, okay? So right now, take a look here. What is happening here is that he has 2 more camps to take, and top lane, mid lane is super low, right? So take a look at top lane. This guy is this HP, Fiora is this HP. What does a challenger player see? And what does like someone that's not challenger and is not good on Talon, or it doesn't even have to be Talon, it's just fundamentals, okay? Right now, as a Talon, you should understand that Fiora has a wave management, which means that Fiora should be able to crash the wave, and you know, Urgot will be under tower, forced to catch this wave. So now the enemy jungler has to make a choice, right? Either he full clears or he covers. Most junglers, ironically, are pretty bad at covering. Like, maybe like a challenger, people get pretty good at it, Grandmaster Challenger-ish. But below that, people are really bad at that, right? So, right now, because it's a Talon, right? He just jumps another wall. He can save so much time. So, right now, right? Enemy jungler decided to go for a gank as well. And he's as well like, okay, I'm gonna go there too. If this guy full cleared, this guy's dead. If this guy matches, basically he can counter gank and potentially get a double kill, right? And right now you can see that Fiora crashed the wave. He's going behind. And there he dies. Here, he fucked up. But maybe that was actually planned. He got executed. Which I'm not sure if he planned right. It could have been lucky, but let's take a look. And here, one small thing as well. Look, you see how he's walking back? He wants him to not flash. And then he just wants to flash Q him. So he doesn't actually, you know, respond to his flash, you know. Because he could have easily survived. And now this guy got cooked. Urgot was being stupid. Didn't alt stack. And he gets executed. But do you see basically here how, like, as a jungler, you need to recognize, okay, can my top lane crash the wave? Yes or no? Let's say for some reason Fiora could not crash the wave here. And if Urgot plays safe, he can never die. Would he go top lane? Probably not. He could still try to go top lane and hope he trolls. But generally speaking, that's not like as guaranteed as Fiora pushing the wave. And him guaranteed forcing Urgot to either die or lose the wave. But it's important to understand this concept of like, if a laner can crash the wave or not, and can you deny him waves or get a kill guaranteed. Those are usually the things you want to be thinking if you skip a camp. So let's take a look at another example. Alright, take a look at this example here, okay? So he's doing his golems and you can see groups up, all his camps up, but right now you can see Ezreal HP and Ziggs HP. But one thing I really want to highlight here is the following. Challenger players think in waves. So when I say they think in waves, basically right now, he could decide to skip this and run instantly bot side, right? But why is he taking his golems before going bot side? It's because right now, if he takes his golems, this wave that's coming, he can use that wave to dive them. Because what ends up happening now is the same scenario. Either Ezreal, one, drops the wave plus plates, or he dies. And basically, if the enemy jungler doesn't cover, he's dead, you know? So, basically at the moment, you can see that as he's taking his golems and he's walking right now, it still takes some time for the laners to crash the wave. You see, there's no wave yet, right? So he's syncing his golems with the wave to time it, so he's optimizing farm, and then he's going for the dive. And of course, because it's Talon, I mean, look at his champion, right? Like, he's jumping over walls. And now he sees the Diana. But of course, there's an Ezreal here, right? Boom, Ezreal dead. And now Talon's like, see you later, alligator. And then, of course, Syndra came, and he's like, alright, guys, I'm out. But do you see basically how, like, he's optimizing farm, and depending on which wave the laner can crash, and if they can crash, he would skip his camps because, like I said, either laner loses something, or he gets a kill. And if enemy jungler is not there, guess what? They're cooked. And the funny thing is, the enemy jungler was here. But because it's the Talon special, he can jump over walls like this, right? And then he can even survive, which is pretty OP. And not many champs can do this, right? Let's take a look at another example. This one is a bit more niche. This one even I would not be able to recognize. And something I wouldn't really do necessarily. But right now, Syndra killed the Zek, okay? The karma's coming. And basically, I think... Okay, let's watch this first, okay? Let's watch this first. And then I'll give my opinion. Okay. Well, basically, he just gets cooked here, right? And one thing you can see, right? He's holding his Q as long as possible. But let's go back. This is something that very good players actually don't do. Like, if this Syndra is really good, he'll probably push without using his E, because having his E available means he can knock him away and then he's good, right? But in this case, he uses QE. So I think what he sees in this moment is, okay, Syndra might or will probably use his spells. And if he has no Q or QE to knock him away, he's dead. So he skipped all his camps, goes towards the Syndra and kills him. And I do think if Syndra actually positioned maybe a bit more up, played a bit safe, kept his range a little bit right, I think he could be maybe okay. But I just want to explain what he's thinking, and it's by understanding what laners are thinking, which is, think from Syndra POV. Zek is dead. Any laner is gonna push the next wave, right? So he's capitalizing and banking on the fact that, well, he's gonna push the wave, and if he wastes his spells, and I come from behind, I'm gonna kill him. And of course, right now you can see too that he alt-attacks W, alt-attack. He's not even Q now. He's still alt-attacking, in case he flashes or something. and then he's just dead. But just trying to understand laner psychology will help you not only become a better Talon, it will help you become a better player, right? So this is a bit about him recognizing kills, which is basically understanding what the laner sees. Later in the video as well, you see a small coaching session. Not a coaching session, we just randomly hopped onto a call and we just talked a bit about his gameplay. But you can see as well what he thinks, right? But anyway, now let's take a look at how we play side lane in mid game, and that's something as well that without this, it's cooked, okay? Alright, here, side laning. So as a Talon, it's very crucial that you understand basically, well, how side lanes work and why you want to push as well. So take a look here, okay? This bot lane of enemy team, they died. So as a Talon usually, okay, and most joiners, you would want to just, you know, think about, okay, what am I playing for next? Take your camps and base. But as Talon, this champ is not that insane in team fighting, so what you want to do is actually push side lane to force the enemy team to show. Just saying, if you're playing low elo, you should give, like, if Jhin is trying to push, give him the farm. But if they're not pushing, you should take the farm. So you see here the cannon he gave to Jhin, don't take the cannon, okay? But you should push if your laners are not pushing. So by him pushing the wave, what does it do? It forces someone to show, and now, because someone's forced to show, it's now a 4v3 if they decide to go mid lane. However, right now, no one's showing bot lane. He doesn't have much to do. So he's literally taking one more wave. Which will force the enemy team again to catch this wave. And now Talon has free time to do anything he wants. So let's say there's a good mid lane play now. Kaisa is going to be around here. And he can just, boom, kill them. Now Kaisa decided to, you know, rotate towards mid lane. He found him. And he got basically cooked. So guess what? His 1.8k gold, Akshan, Kaisa dead, Leona showing mid lane. They were topside previously. What does he do? Take another wave. Because right now, what you have to understand is that by him pushing another wave, it forces someone to show bot lane 100%, and then they get numbers in the top side, then it'll be a 5v4. So during this small moment, when someone goes bot lane right, he can then look to play into top side, and then if there's anyone trolling, Knowledge can just hook in because they have numbers. Would he take his top side camps? This depends. If let's say enemy team is walking pretty cocky, then it's actually good for him to like do that. But if they're not doing that, he would just farm. But that's generally speaking the things what you want to think about if you play Talon. And I'll show you now another example. Okay, there's a team fight here. And you can see that what ends up happening is that they're just fighting. Oh, one small thing as well. Look, if Talon has a choice of taking the Drake, or he will die, don't die please. Optimizing your tempo, optimizing resources, making sure you're everywhere is very crucial. Right now, the funny thing is his team stole the Drake, but they shouldn't have stolen the Drake. But the thing now is that like by simply Talon living right, he now has the opportunity to push out the side lane and get numbers. And that's the whole point. You want to force the enemy team to show, so you have a small window of man advantage, and you can kill someone. So take a look here, okay? Enemy is dead, they're pushing here. What ends up happening is the following. They have to catch the bot lane wave here, and because they're forced to catch the bot lane wave here, this wave that's coming, okay, they're gonna have a small window of numbers. So I'm gonna show you the stats. Right now he's pretty strong, and he's taking red buff, okay? And remember previously, someone has to show bot lane. Now this guy is pushing another wave, and okay, this is the difference between someone bad and good, okay? If Talon had Raptors up, and there's a wave here, would you take Raptors, or would you be on this mid lane wave? In mid game. I hope that we both agree that you should not go on the Raptors here. You can always take the Raptors after you try to make a pick on Talon especially. And this is how you recognize if you can get something or not. Look, immobile, CC, 6 dashes, run, okay, chase dog, chaser. If you think about it, almost everyone is solo queue, unless you're super good, okay, in challenge elo. Whenever there's a wave, okay, they're not just gonna sit here and wait. Have you ever seen in your elo someone sit here and wait like a good boy? Or here? Very rarely. So it's very good to waste 5 seconds and don't take this. I mean, I guess in this case he took it. Wait, hold up, let me see. But I guess the wave wasn't there. Okay, he had time to yoink it, okay? Look, He's technically still on time on the wave. Look, he's still on the wave. Let's say he was on this 3 seconds later. This would have been bad because then he might miss the opportunity. But now, because there's a wave, right, and he's still making it, he's now having the CC. They're chasing them. And guess what? During this chase the whole time, right? Because they pushed out the side lane, he wasn't here. Because they did a play previously. So now they got Jhin Flash, and if they wanted to, they could back off, rinse and repeat. Talon, they just get the wave, they push out the side lane, someone catches the wave here, boom. Try to sync your camps with the mid waves and try to make a play. So now, obviously, I mean, they're kind of strong, right? And they killed the Jhin. In the end, they ended up winning, even though it's 4v5, because they one-shot the Jhin, but as well, plus they're very fat, right? But the fact that you push side lane, force them to show, use that small window to make a play. Just so you know as well, side note, if you want to make a mid lane play and their side lanes are moving, and you have a small window, that is called a fast play. A fast play is basically where you yoink someone's life, like, pew, and then you're like, okay, now we dip in. Small victory. So knowing as well how long you have is very crucial if you make these type of plays. So I'll show you now another example. Alright, take a look at this example here, okay? Just to TLDR, they got the Elder. It's a very long game, it's 42 minutes in the game. And take a look here, okay? They push out the bot lane. They got the towers. And now, of course, let's wait a little bit. This is nothing with side laning. His teammates died. Okay, now we can start beginning. Okay, look. Now, there is super minions going on bot lane, okay? He has his camps up. He's taking his camps. His laners leave the base, so he cannot do anything. So he's like, well, I guess the wave's pushing anyway. It's a bit dangerous to go here. I'll base. But you could see already, he low-key wanted to push the wave, but then he realized, well, the wave's actually dying. No need. So now, because this wave is going to be slowly pushing towards the enemy team, guess what? At some point, the enemy team has to respond here. They have to respond to top lane and to bot lane. You see these fat minions here? Usually if laners see this, they're like, oh, farm, juicy, let's go, farm, 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 farm. If these laners were actually smart and they basically show their position, I mean, think from enemy perspective, right? They're literally showing 2 on side lane, which means, you know, yeah, this guy should play safe and they should ping him to play safe. Because most of the times, people don't think from enemy perspective what they see. But right now, the enemy literally sees one showing here, one showing here. So what does it mean? If you do some simple maths. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the enemy team is basically, you know, here's one, here's one. So no matter what, it's going to be a 4v3 for sure, okay? So now, because this guy is showing here, Talon's like, brrrr, pow, 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 pow. Aurora dead. Okay, ignore the sounds I made, but you see basically how like everything happened from like simply all the way back before. And this is how you want to increase your chances of winning. Some of these things as well, actually a lot of those things, I explained on my mid and late game course. There's so much more. There's so many small details that if you don't understand, it's kind of cooked. But you can see that the fact that that small number advantage, Talon can utilize his strength by just... okay, imagine Aurora POV. He's like, alright, I'm in a bush, I'm pretty safe. Then Talon's like, skirt! He just randomly appears on the screen and then... yeah, good luck. But you can see here basically how he's playing mid game a bit. And utilizing utilizing side waves to get numbers. And looking for quick plays like an assassin, obviously, right? And that's basically it for the Talon guide, technically explaining what he thinks and what he sees. But now as well, I'll just show you guys like a small discussion we had regarding his gameplay. Where he gives some of his thought process as well, so you can hear from himself a bit what he thinks. Yo. What makes you the GOAT Talon? What makes you the GOAT Talon?
I just find kills, I guess.
Okay, okay.
I just trade. I trade camps for kills.
How do you recognize them? Because like, let's say a noob Talon player knows the mechanics. Because honestly, I don't think Talon is mechanically that hard. If I watch combos, but I think it's about understanding how to get kills essentially, and how to recognize that.
Well, there's obvious things you have to consider, like HP, sums and stuff, abilities,
Yeah,
shot
yeah,
and stuff. But it's also a very like high skill ceiling when you like kind of know where they ward,
yeah,
and obviously you have your E, right?
yeah, yeah.
So you can play around that. So like using that vision against them,
Yeah, yeah.
that's a pretty important thing to master, I guess.
I'm pretty sure that this as well, right? In early game, especially at this timer, which is 220, when you're about to finish your camp, because now usually laners push their wave, and now they usually ward. So see if you're missing. Okay, usually laners are supposed to ward here, but Sivir showed way too fast, right? So she actually didn't ward.
Yeah.
So now you're probably fully aware, okay, he has no wards.
Oh, by the way, this invade also didn't work because I forgot to change my fucking runes to Cosmic Insight, man.
Ah, that's cooked.
From the last game, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know, I just flipped it still. Even though there's a ward here, it literally just died, but...
Yeah.
I'm so tilted at this point, man.
You're probably like, bruh. Yeah, here, honestly, you could have probably picked up a free kill because their bot lane was really lazy, didn't put down the ward, and Alistar's level 2. So you could literally just sneak behind them and kill them, and they wouldn't even know what happened.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they were 4 HP, so I wasn't like too sure if it's the play to make, but then I just realized my smite's just on cooldown because I have the wrong rune, so it's just cooked, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I should have flipped bot here, though.
Would you say bot lane is a flip, though? Because Yasuo has a knock-up, Alistar has a knock-up, and they have to run all the way to the tower.
I mean, it's a better flip than what I'm doing, for sure.
Oh, yeah, 100%, yeah.
And, like, we'll at least get the sums, so it's something.
Don't you think you should kill them here? Because, like, imagine you just go on Sivir, right? This guy combos, this guy stacks his Q, you come from behind. Which world is this guy gonna live, actually?
I guess, actually, yeah. We should get one for sure.
One for sure, yeah. You recognize how to get the kills, I guess, that most people struggle with. Because people watch your VOD, they can't see it,
What do you think about this dragon, by the way, considering this early game?
The early dragon you took?
Yeah.
This one.
It's really weird because it's so early, right? I don't really do early dragons on Talon, but...
I don't know where Graves is, but I think if you can take this for free and your camps are not up, it's good, by the way.
There's legit nothing to do on the map.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. I mean, I think if there's nothing up, your camps are literally not there. I think it's a good Drake. Yeah, I mean, the only downside now is that you're down tempo, right? So as long as you communicate to your laners to not int, and you take a free Drake, that's a W. Yeah. So now you see this Graves now. If he managed to kill bot lane, no bueno, but your laners should never be able to die. I watched your Talon bit for like 1 hour something. I just watched mostly the champion master, right? The combos. Could you explain how you see the kill opportunities? Is it experience? What is it, do you think? And so how you play this, right? Of course.
I mean, definitely has to come with experience because you know the limits of your champ, like damage-wise.
Yeah.
And how to interact with certain champs.
Mm.
And like here, for example, I know they want to go for a plating, right? That's what was going through my head here. Yeah. So we just have to camp the wall, really.
They have the plating autism here. This is what they see. Usually laners...
Yeah.
You for sure recognize it, right? This fat plate. Laners are like, oh yeah, So you basically have an if and else condition, right? If they go for plating, you kill them. If not, just dip.
Yeah.
How do you decide your combo?
I think I eat a bit too early though. I mean, here ideally, I just get Teemo, right? Just Q, ignite, W him. Maybe smite even if I need it.
Yeah.
And then depending on my HP, I can maybe go on Graves. Probably not though, because I'll be on cooldowns, right? But since they kind of like reacted pretty fast, I just have to go on Graves here.
Yeah.
And I know I can like just stealth the blinds, so Teemo doesn't really matter here.
Yeah. Would you almost always want to start with W? If you can't hit them, of course, and then follow up with a Q.
Here, wait, let me see how I play actually.
Yeah. Use R. You look for the little yordle. Because for example, here now you're not actually Wing.
Yeah, I don't W because it's just. I mean, I out first because I tried to catch Teemo, I believe.
Yeah.
But he was a bit too fast. I know I can get 3 stacks on Graves if I just auto him, and I just have to Q him at that point.
Okay.
So I used W last because it's like, it's gonna f my R2. It won't go on him if I use W here first.
Oh, okay. That's
and also, he's gonna dash out of it anyway, like the second one. And the second one is like 2 times stronger than the first one. So
yeah.
So yeah, we just use it last here pretty much.
Okay.
And yeah, it's like you can see even now I'm just waiting for his dashes.
Yeah. I see. I didn't think about that your ult would like follow them if you just W. That makes sense. Q on a Q first for that reason. Obviously, I'm not an assassin enjoyer, Talon, so...
It's actually auto Q, auto hit.
Auto Q, auto, yeah.
If I Q too fast, then my RT won't hit them for the first stack, and then my passive won't proc on that auto attack.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like delaying yourself just for the R to hit.
Yeah, I've seen that as well, yeah. And for example here, right, you could take your camps, but instead, you just go in a bushy. It's because you want to see if Graves face checks, right? And see if he ends. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to fight him because there's no way he dies insta, but just kind of want to like prevent him from just walking into my jungle, really.
Yeah.
I knew he's in his bush as well.
Yeah. Then Alice started a pretty good combo, and then you just hooked him basically. Yeah, I watched some other games though. So actually, wait, I have a question about some objectives that I didn't understand, because there's like one game you went for objectives, and I was like, hold up. Oh, this is a game. Yeah.
Was it the Dragon of Carthus?
Yeah. This is a game. So at some point, you were in a losing position. So I would say right here, yeah.
I would say we were winning at this point, but Zed just died, right?
Yeah.
He died bot lane.
Zed died here. And I'm not sure if kills ultimate, but in this situation, you have 3 Drakes anyway. And you're playing a Talon in a team fight against Alistar Kill that probably has ultimate.
Yeah, this was definitely a bad play. I saw it on my own stream before I came here.
Okay.
I don't know what I did, honestly. I kind of just... I just got rage baited somehow. Just go in here.
Rage baited?
Because like, bro, the team
was
so bad.
Yeah.
Like, the only way we win this fight is like if my team plays like on the top side of the river here, so they're like closer to me, so I can flank.
Yeah.
I can like walk around to the blue side of the jungle and then use that wall as well. But like, they were so far, I just got pissed off. And like Carthus also into flash the Javan ult, which was kind of bad.
Yeah.
Like Loki just ult into them, no? I mean flash into them.
You want him to ult in here? Or like just flash in the Carthus?
Yeah, the Carthus like, well, he doesn't have to, but like into flashing Javan ult is kind of troll, no?
Yeah, I mean he could have just suicided.
Yeah.
If you want to, for you to like, for you to set it basically.
Yeah, like they just trolled this fight, so I kind of got pissed off.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely we should have dropped it and just like wait for Baron, wait for Zed.
Yeah. Okay, I was wondering about that because I was like, there's no shot you ever want to fight this. Because usual thing I advise Talon players or any assassin players, if you can't fight an objective, it's completely fine if you can just like get towers, get resources, get man advantage, and then you can perma make picks. I do have a question here though. Would you, if let's say you push here hindsight mid lane wave, would you push top lane as well and push tower and ignore this?
Me, I actually would. I mean, it kind of leaves my team like to do nothing. They can take my Raptors, I guess, maybe red 2. But yeah, it's like just efficient because I want to just like have things to happen on the map,
Yeah.
I can't just leave like waves to be hitting each other with no one on it.
Yeah, for sure.
And the enemies have to, react and respond.
Yeah. Because I would say that's something I think most Talon players don't recognize, which is that if you can push side lane, force someone to show here, they have some free time to like, if there's any fight, you can skip this and just join. If there's no fight and you can't do anything, worst case, you can take this.
Yeah. It's one of Talon's strengths, he just instant deletes waves, so...
Yeah.
I'm just,
Yeah, I do think most people struggle with that on Talon, just not knowing when to push, when to actually just... what to do on the map, basically.
I mean, like, mid-late game... I mean, early game, if it was, like, S11, it's, like, any wave, really. But it's like, hard taxed now. So you have to wait for, like, I don't know, like, past 14 minutes. Then it's okay to, like, start taking waves.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, like, mid-late, just take it whenever you can. If no one's on it, then just do it.
Just do it. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, just
do it.
Yeah. What build would you usually go though? Is like Humus Axiom always the classic?
I always go, well, not always, but the most consistent is Humus Axiom for sure.
Okay. And third, depending on the armor?
It's usually up, but if you're behind, then you can consider Soroda's Grudge because you might be like getting outscaled by armor.
Yeah. Okay.
But you could also do Edge of Night into like certain champs, like Vayne, Syndra, or something like that. It's kind of OP.
Yeah.
And Serpents when it's like Karma.
No.
I think only Karma, like no one else really.
I would say, of course, mechanically you're good, obviously. But as well, just recognizing weird juices and how to play side lane. I think that's probably like a very big part. Just you're not just AFK farming, right? If like no one's on side lane, you're like, well, I'll make something happen, and then you do the Talon special.
Yeah, I think that's one thing people don't do as well. They like you just need to just farm waves, man. Just speed up the game.
Yeah.
And it's like if a teammate or a champ on the team is like just better groups, then it's really good then, because then you kind of force them to group if they have nothing to farm.
Yeah.
And then you can come into flank for play.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like people are kind of like too kind of nice, you know, so they don't really take people's farm. But like,
yeah,
it's like just take it, bro.
I mean, let's be honest. Most people take the farm and they int. You know, they take the farm and die after.
Yeah, it's just like either they're nice or they're a bit insecure, I guess. To
Yeah,
carry the game.
Yeah.
But like you're playing a carry jungler, right? You just have to take resources.
No, for sure, yeah. But actually, in this situation, what would you have done next time then? Because like 20 seconds Drake, obviously your teammates should not be dying, but what they know?
Yeah, like we have no front line, but we have like really long range and decent picking. I mean, I guess they have bar to engage, but in general, it's kind of hard to engage against my team, right?
Yeah.
So I actually think I said I should be like farming this game, especially camps.
Yeah.
Because they're like too scared to engage on my team if I'm not shown on the map, especially.
Yeah.
So I have time to farm, you know. But I think it's because I had no kills this game. I had mostly assists, so it's like I guess I was the bitch this game. So I was like, I'm just gonna play my team, you know.
Yeah.
That's why I put serpents too.
I think here's all right. Your teammates ping you assistance, but I think in hindsight, obviously, right? Drake's spawning 20. There's not a bowling wave. They're chasing your team for fun. They will never kill you either way. If they chase you, it's actually good.
I mean, the problem like in this specific scenario is that we left mid lane, so no one farmed it, and you only pushed it.
Yeah.
And then they rotated us too, which is fine. But then GP also rotated randomly, and he just got caught.
Yeah.
And that's where it just went to shit.
Yeah. Would you have pushed bot lane here though, or would you rather still fight? Because I think here fighting is cooked again, you know.
Yeah, it's doomed.
This is
I mean, it's also like, wait, did we win this or lose this?
Here you got murdered.
Oh, I won this. What the fuck? I don't know.
Oh no, this game you won. You mean, or what?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like some rage engage once again.
Yeah, I see.
I don't know. I was still lucky. I need kills to function, you know. But
yeah. I mean, honestly, this champ feels fucking horrible if you're like even in the like armor.
Yeah.
Good night. It was a nice call, shorty call, but hopefully the viewers learned a thing or two.
Good night, bro.
Good night. Peace.